Good morning to all of you, my dear children, and a hearty welcome to all for a new academic session on behalf of the Department of Biological Science of Karunya Christian School. Myself, Mrs. Sindhusha MC, biology teacher of Karunya Christian School. I am handling biology classes for class 10th, 11th, and 12th. I am from Kerala. My educational qualifications are MSc, MEd, and I had cleared Central Teachers Eligibility Test conducted by Central Board of Secondary Education. Regarding my teaching experiences, I had nearly 10 years of experience in various CBSE as well as state board schools. I had handled children from primary to higher secondary of various classes. As a secondary and higher secondary teacher, I worked in various prestigious institutions of the country, especially in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. I worked in various Kendriya Vidyalayas of Tamil Nadu and Kerala as an ad hoc teacher. Before entering into the details of the syllabus, I would like to share something with you. Children, would you like to hear stories? Yes, I know everyone likes story. Here is a story for you. A water bearer in a village had two large pots, each hung on the ends of the pole which he had carried across his neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. At the end of a long walk from stream to the house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For the whole 2 years, this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots of water to his house. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, perfect for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years, what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. I am ashamed of myself because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your house. The bearer said to the pot, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot side?" That's because I have always known about your flow, and I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back, you have watered them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick the beautiful flowers to decorate the table. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty to grace the house. So, dears, you be the same. Nobody is perfect in front of our God Almighty. If you are like the cracked pot or like the proud pot, we are here. We, the KCS family, founded by our beloved Dr. DGS Dinakaran, Dr. Paul Dinakaran, which is led by respected Dr. Elijah Blessing, the registrar of the Karunya University and correspondent of the school, under the guidance of our beloved principal ma'am, Mrs. J. Sajan Matthew, are here to channelize your flow towards the stream of life. So be the same, my dears. Even God uses cracked pots. See here. Which one do you see the most light coming from? Of course, the cracked one. That's the way God uses you. God guides you and God makes you. Let me focus on a Bible verse. As Philippians chapter 3 verse 12 says, It's not that I have already reached this goal or have already become perfect, but I keep pursuing it, hoping somehow to embrace it just as I have been embraced by the Messiah Jesus. Yes, may God Almighty shower His blessing upon us to overcome our imperfections, and we will try to become perfect by His grace. As a Karunyan, we will arise and shine. Now I'll share certain interesting facts about your syllabus. CBSE syllabus more or less focus on preparing students for engineering and medical entrance examinations. All national entrance examinations are conducted as per the CBSE syllabus. The board emphasizes on the use of NCERT books, which form the basis of all entrance examinations conducted in India. In my subject, that is in biology, I am well experienced to guide you for board examinations, other competitive examinations like NEET, JEE, Indian Civil Service examinations, etc. Now we'll have a correlative analysis of the syllabus, both the previous one and the current syllabus. That is what you're going to learn in 11th and 12th, and what you had learned in 9th and 10th. When we compare your previous and current syllabus of 11th and 12th, the concepts are more wide and deep. In 9th standard, you learned 6 chapters in biology. 10th also you learned 6 chapters in biology. But in 11th and 12th, altogether you're going to learn 38 chapters from 10 units. So here, each and every concepts are wide and deep. So in the slide, you can see the chapter Life Process of 10th Standard. In that chapter, you learned the life process, respiration, nutrition, transport, excretion in plants and animals. There the contents are less. But here in 11th standard, chapter 14 is dealing with the respiration in plants, only in plants. Animals are also there. But in this chapter, you're going to learn exchange of gases, cellular respiration. What is a cellular respiration? That you will learn in 10th standard. But what are all the main process, functions, the phenomena which are related to the cellular respiration? You're going to learn in detail. Again, glycolysis, fermentation, anaerobic respiration, TCA cycle, electron transport system, energy relations, number of ATP molecules generated, amphibolic pathways, respiratory quotient, everything you are going to learn in 11th standard. Now, the next life process that you learned is nutrition, autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, both in plants and animals. Already you learned. Now, in 11th standard, again you are going to learn each of the process in detail. Here you can see the chapter 13 photosynthesis in higher plants, where you are going to learn the early experiments related to the photosynthesis. Where does the photosynthesis takes place? How many pigments are involved in photosynthesis? What is light reaction? What is dark reaction? What is electron transport? Where are the ATP and NADPH used? C4 pathway, photorespiration, factors affecting photosynthesis. All these topics you are going to learn in 11th standard. In 10th standard, only you learnt about the process, what are the major steps taking place, where the pigment is located, and what is the structure of leaf. All those things you learnt in 10th standard. But here the topic is more wide. Now the next topic is transport in plants. This also you learnt in 10th standard. But here you're going to learn the means of transport, plant water relations, long distance transport of water, transpiration. This topic is familiar to you, but this is going into deeper. Uptake and transport of mineral nutrients, phloem transport, flow from source to sink. Everything you are going to deal in this chapter. Chapter 11 of the class 11. Now, this is the 17th chapter of 11th standard, where you're going to learn breathing and exchange of gases. That is a topic under human physiology. So, in 10th standard, you learnt about respiration, both in animals and plants. What is the process basically that you know? Here, you are going to deal with the respiratory organs, that also you learnt in 10th standard, but more details. Mechanism of breathing, exchange of gases, transport of gases, regulation of respiration, disorders of respiratory system, etc. are the topics that you're going to deal in this chapter. Now, the next life process is digestion and absorption. This also you learnt in 10th standard, but here in human physiology, digestion and absorption, the concepts and the processes are explained detailedly. Here you are going to learn again about the digestive system, digestion of food, absorption of digested products, disorders of digestive system, etc. Now the 18th chapter of class 11, body fluids and circulation. Circulation you learnt in 10th standard. So here we are going to deal about blood, lymph, tissue fluid, circulatory pathways, double circulation, regulation of cardiac activity, disorders of circulatory system, etc. 19th chapter of class 11, we are going to learn excretory products and their elimination. Excretion, both in plants and animals, the very basic concepts and process you learnt in 10th standard. Here we are going to deal with the human excretory system, urine formation, function of the tubules, mechanism of concentration of the filtrate, regulation of kidney function, micturition, role of other organs in excretion, disorders of the excretory system, etc. Ninth standard, you learned the topic biological diversity, diversity of plants and animals, basic issues in scientific naming, basis of classification, hierarchy of categories, groups, major groups of plants, major groups of animals, etc. Now in 11th standard, each category is a chapter, both in plant kingdom and in animal kingdom. In second chapter of class 11, you're going to deal with the five kingdom classification detailedly and classification of Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. And again, another groups lichen, virus, and viroids. Now, based on the same topic of class 9th, in class 11th, we are going to deal about the chapter Plant Kingdom. In that chapter, you're going to learn salient features, classification of plants into major groups like algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperm, and the distinguishing features of all the categories and the plant life cycles and their alternation of generations. Again, based on the same chapter of 9th standard, we are going to learn more detailedly about the animal kingdom in class 11th. Here we are going to deal with the salient features, classification of non-chordates up to phyla level and chordates up to class level. Here you can see when you compare the life processes, what you learnt in 10th standard, each of the topic is a chapter in 11th standard. Same way, the biodiversity. Each kingdom is a chapter in 11th standard, that is plant kingdom and animal kingdom. In ninth standard, you learnt about tissues, organs, organ system, organism, structure and functions of animal and plant tissues, meristematic and permanent tissues in plants, all the four types of tissues in animals, etc. Now in 11th standard, you're going to learn in chapter 5 and 6 and that is in chapter 5 morphology of flowering plants and in chapter 6 anatomy of flowering plants. Okay, these topics are related to plants. So in these chapters, in morphology of flowering plants, you're going to learn about the root system, stem, leaf, inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed, the semi technical description of a typical flowering plant, description of some important families, etc. All these topics, root, stem, leaf, and all you had learnt in the junior classes also, but here we are moving into more deeper and deeper. Anatomy of flowering plants, chapter 6 of class 11, we are going to deal about the tissues, various tissues, tissue system, anatomy of dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants, secondary growth, etc. In ninth standard, you learnt in the chapter numbers 5 about cell, that is the fundamental unit of life. Now in 11th standard, chapter 8, 9 and 10 are about these topics regarding the cell, the basic unit of life. Here you are going to learn more about the cell, cell theory, all the organelles of the cell, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, biomolecules, what is cell cycle, what is cell division, etc. In 10th standard, you learned about control and coordination in animals and plants in the 7th chapter. Now, the same topic is more detailedly explained in the chapters 15 and 22 of 11th standard. Chapter 15 is related to the plant growth and development, where you're going to learn about the seed germination, phases of plant growth and plant growth rate, conditions of growth, differentiation, redifferentiation, dedifferentiation, sequence of developmental process in a plant cell, growth regulators like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene. All these topics you have learned in 10th standard also. These regarding these hormones. Only simply they are mentioning the hormones and their function there. But here you are going to learn more details. Now, regarding the chapter 22, chemical coordination and integration, that is related to animal physiology. There you're going to learn endocrine glands, hormones, human endocrine system, hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pancreas, gonads, mechanism of hormone actions, etc. In 10th standard, you learnt in 8th chapter how do organisms reproduce. That is reproduction in animals and plants. Now in 12th standard, chapter 2, 3, 4 and an introductory session about the reproduction, which is explained in the chapter 1 of class 12th. So here you're going to learn about in first chapter in 12th standard you're going to learn about introduction for reproduction, what you learnt in previous class 10th regarding that, and some important other process factors regarding the reproduction animals. This is the content of first chapter of class 12. Coming to second chapter, you are going to learn about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. There you are going to learn flower, a fascinating organ of angiosperms, pre-fertilization, structural and functional events. Next coming the double fertilization, post fertilization, structures and events, apomixis, polyembryony. And moving to the third chapter, that is related to human reproduction. There you are going to learn about various processes, structural development of male reproductive system, female reproductive system, formation of gametes, both the male and female, menstrual cycle, fertilization and implantation, pregnancy and embryonic development, parturition and lactation, etc. Now, moving to the fourth chapter of 12th standard related to reproductive health problems and strategies, population explosion and birth control, medical termination of pregnancy, sexually transmitted diseases, infertility, etc. are the topics. 10th, you learnt about the ecological topic our environment. Now, in class 12th, you're going to learn more about these topics. So, in chapter 14, ecosystem, chapter 15, biodiversity and its conservation, chapter 16, environmental issues. Again, you are going to learn some more environmental issues. All the topics are discussed in a detailed way in these chapters. So, in the 10th unit, beginning from chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, we are dealing the same topic, our environment, which you learnt in 10th standard. Again, more details are given in these chapters, ecology and environment of class 12. 10th, you learnt about the topics heredity and evolution. In chapter 9. So, in class 12, again you are going to learn these topics in chapter 5 as principles of inheritance and variation, chapter 6 molecular basis of inheritance. In these chapters, you are going to discuss about the Mendelian inheritance, deviations from Mendelianism, incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple alleles, inheritance of blood groups, pleiotropy, elementary idea of polygenic inheritance, chromosomal theory of inheritance, chromosomes and genes, sex determinations in human, birds, and honeybee, linkage and crossing over, sex linked inheritance, hemophilia, color blindness, Mendelian disorders in human, thalassemia, chromosomal disorders in humans, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, etc. And also molecular basis of inheritance, you are going to deal with search for genetical material and genetical materials, their structure, DNA, RNA, DNA packing, DNA replication, central dogma, transcription, genetic code, translation, gene expression, regulation, lack of operon, genome and human genome project, DNA fingerprinting, etc. Chapter 13 of class 9th, health and diseases. The name of the chapter is Why Do We Fall Ill? And the chapter 8, 9 and 10 of class 12, biology in human welfare, are related topics. So in class 12, you're going to learn about parasites causing human diseases, malaria, filariasis, ascariasis, typhoid, pneumonia, common cold, amoebiasis, ringworm, basic concept of immunology, vaccine, cancer, HIV and AIDS, adolescence, drug and alcohol abuse, and in microbes in human welfare, the household food processing, industrial production, sewage treatment, energy generation, and as biocontrol agents, biofertilizers, antibiotics, production and judicious use, etc. are the topic. Class 9th, chapter 15, you learnt about improvement in food resources. In that, you are learnt about plant and animal breeding, selection for quality improvement and management, use of fertilizers, manures, protection from pests and diseases, organic farming, etc. Now, chapter 9 of class 12, you're going to learn again about the strategies for enhancement in food production, improvement in food production, plant breeding, single cell protein, biofortification, apiculture, and animal husbandry. The 95 percentage of the portions are from previous syllabus only. Now, the new topics included in class 12th are biotechnology and its application, chapter 11 biotechnology principles and processes, chapter 12 biotechnology and its application. There you will learn about the application of biotechnology in health and agriculture, human insulin and vaccine production, gene therapy, genetically modified organisms, BT crops, transgenic animals, biosafety issues, biopiracy, and the patents. All the topics of class 11 and 12 are really important for all kinds of competitive examinations, like plant and animal physiology of class 11, cell, the basic unit of life of class 11, classifications of plant and animal kingdom, morphology, anatomy of plant and animals, and in class 12, reproduction, genetics and evolution, biology and human welfare, biotechnology, ecology, almost all the topics are really important for all kinds of competitive examination held in our country. I hope you got a clear idea about the previous syllabus, coming syllabus, and I hope you are clear about the concepts, topics which we are going to discuss, what you learned previously, what you're going to learn in 11th and 12th. Let me wind up the presentation with the words of great personality, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts results in action. To succeed in your mission, you must have single minded devotion to your goal. Yes, my dear children, unless you have a dream, there will be no thoughts. If you don't have any kind of thought, no actions, so no results. So keep on dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. May God bless you to fulfill all your dreams. Thank you, my dear children.